What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next we are going to be going over the books that I picked up this week. One of them shipped in one of these guys. Just a little, flimsy yellow bubble mailer. Let's see if the book survived. Let's check these out. So before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So I picked up some pretty cool books this week. I actually bought a number of books on some other platforms as well, but those aren't going to be here for a little while. But these are the ones that have shown up. And we've got, 7 Raws and 1 slab. We've got Silver Age stuff, we've got modern stuff, we got Golden Age stuff, we got everything. And like I said in the intro, one of them came in one of these, like the flimsy bubble mailers, and there was no cardboard or anything inside of it. The book was in, it had a backboard at least. Like, this was the bag it was in. I've transferred it to a different bag because this is definitely an older one. But it's like where the backboard was way too small for it, and all this kind. It was a cheap book, so that's why I'm kind of laughing about it. I don't really care that much. I think I paid $8 for the book, so it's not like it was a big deal. But I still it was interesting. When I bought the book, I was wondering how the book could be shipped for, what did it cost? $2.35 for shipping. I was like, how can you ship a comic for $2.35? That is the answer. That is how you ship a comic for $2.35, is using a bubble mailer. But the book that came in that bubble mailer, and I'll talk about why I picked this one up, was this book right here, Batman number 613. This is part of the Hush storyline, and if you watched my top 25 video recently, you'll know why I picked this up. Because of the new number 3 on my list, which was the original art for page number 8 of this book, signed by Jim Lee. And so I'll throw a picture of the art over on one of these sides there that I picked up. And that's one that I'm planning on getting that framed. But go and show page 8 so you can see that that original, or where that, the art that goes along with. And here's that page. So it's this one over here. So it's got that, the Harley Quinn up there stealing the necklace. You've got the Bruce Wayne's parents' death scene on the bottom, the blood there splatter and everything from his memory from that death scene. Now, the interesting thing I felt with this is that they use different colors and everything on this than they did on the original art. And obviously the original art, it doesn't get colored in, like Harley and all that. But on the original art, like this blood in the center panel is red. You have this panel in the bottom is all black and white with red highlights around the parents, which, maybe they had to change that because of like the comics code or something, because maybe it was considered too violent to have that, that blood splatter, kind of, because it was like blood splatter on the parents' heads and blood around the necklace there. And I just wonder if maybe they weren't allowed to use that coloring with the image. I don't know, but because I'll say, like, the original art with those like red highlights pops a lot more. So I feel like that's a case where, a lot of times the original art is a little more muted because it's all the black and whites, but I think this one, the original art is superior to the page, in my opinion. I might be a little biased since it's the art that I bought, but I was thinking of potentially, like, I'm trying to think how I want to get it framed, and I was thinking of maybe cutting that page out and having it framed next to it. But just something I'm considering, and so I decided to pick up that book. So that was the first one. Next one, we'll stick with Batman. We got a classic Silver Age Batman book. This is Batman number 156. And this is Batman carrying, a dead Robin on the cover. This book has really exploded over the last couple of years. Just a lot of demand for this one, especially in high grades. This isn't a high grade copy. I can't remember what I graded it as, like a 3.5, something like that. It's got a little, paper loss down here. It's got some wear on the cover. It's got like some light full-length creases and that kind of thing. But overall, colors are good. It's a solid copy. But yeah, Batman number 156. think I picked this one up for like around $100, and I think that this is probably $175 or so book. So it was a pretty cool book to pick up. All right, next one. This is where, after I bought this book, I messaged Drew and Mickey, Como and Swagahouse Comics, and I was like, it seemed like I'm buying Silver Age again. Like I legitimately haven't bought Silver Age, like I would call like legitimate Silver Age, other than something that comes in a collection or a group of books in quite a while. And probably going on about 2 years. I mean, outside of maybe a few random things, and I've started picking up some Silver Age again because I feel like a lot of the prices have really gotten back to where I'm comfortable, where I feel like that downside risk is pretty low. And this is a pretty big Silver Age book. This is Fantastic Four number 48. This is a little bit lower grade copy. I mean, you can see the wear on the cover, the wear on the spine. There was actually a huge piece of tape on the cover, but when I got it, it all fell off. Like, it was like so fragile, like brittle. The tape was so old that it just fell right off, and looks way better now. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's a little there's some tape residue, and there's like a thin piece on the back. I'll actually show it. But that was a nice surprise where I took it out and then the tape just came right off. So obviously, this is the first appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus, but here's the back where you can see that bit of like tape left along the spine on the back side, but the part that was on the front that was kind of like a detractor it's all gone now. So it looks, I mean, yeah, it's a lower grade book, but still it's a big book. Fantastic Four number 48. And if you want to see, let's find that first appearance of the Silver Surfer. His first page, I believe, is this one right here. So there's the first page, the first panel that has the Silver Surfer, and he has a bunch of appearances in this one. You've got where the Skrulls are trying to like hide their planets from him, so they don't. So here's that page where like they're afraid that he's coming after them, because then Galactus will follow and destroy their worlds and everything. So there's a bunch of great art in this one. I definitely took the chance to read through it, because the only other copies I've ever had of this one were graded. So I'd never had a chance to have one that's lower grade, so you're not really afraid of handling it and flipping through it and everything. It's all complete. It's all there. The Galactus image on the final page is really cool. It's not the colors you're used to, but it was a huge shot of Galactus. And I would say, usually this is called the cameo of Galactus, but it's the same as Hulk 180. I mean, he's on the last page. Like, I mean, let's look at that. He's on the last page there. He actually speaks. He says, "So speaks Galactus." He's got his little line up there, as well. And so, I mean, depending on which camp you are, of the first cameo, first full, like, feels like this. If you're saying that the 180 is Wolverine's first full appearance, this is Galactus' first full appearance too. But Fantastic Four number 48, I mean, really does have some incredible artwork in there. That's one of the things I've really noticed since I've gone through a lot of Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, books now at this point, is that you get a lot of really big, cool splash pages in the Silver Age. It seems to, I think it's really come from Marvel. Like, I feel like it seems like it came from Marvel. Like, they started doing these really big, intricate splash pages, which you just rarely get in the Golden Age. I almost never see it. Every once in a while I'll come across one, but it is rare. Outside of maybe the opening panel, like the initial splash page, it's pretty rare in the Golden Age. But you see them a lot, and some really cool art. But yeah, Fantastic Four 48. First Silver Surfer, first cameo Galactus, or first full Galactus, however you want to look at it. All right, now for some Golden Age stuff. This is actually a pretty nice book. I was pleasantly surprised with this copy. This is Web of Evil number 14. And it's got, like, the bottom staple is detached at the front cover, but it's attached to the back cover. Top staple is attached, but it is a nice copy. I mean, yeah, you've got a little bit of edge wear and everything, but this is a really solid copy of this book. And this is one that the interior art is pretty incredible on this. I've talked about that in a number of different videos, where a lot of times in Golden Age, the interior art is not great, but the interior art in this one is actually really, really solid. I might do a short on it and kind of show some of that, but I'm a little hesitant to do that with some of the, you know, more solid, like nice presenting copies, because I will probably get this one graded, and I don't think I even need to get it pressed. It already looks, when I've seen it out of the bag, when I looked at it, already, you know, it looks pretty nice, and I don't know how much a press will add, other than some cost and the risk of maybe fully detaching that bottom staple. So, but yeah, nice book, Web of Evil number 14. This is it's got a lot of what you want on the cover. You got the pre-code horror stuff. You've got the close-up faces, obviously scared, the woman in the red dress, this creepy witch thing. It's in the story that had the especially good art was this one here, this Lighthouse of the Dead. It was a pretty cool little story. All right, this is the next one. This one, also an incredible cover. This is Adventures into Darkness number 7. This is a lower grade book, probably like a 1/8, somewhere in that range. I think it was still attached at the back cover. Is that right? I don't remember. I think it's maybe still attached to the back cover, detached to the front cover at both staples. A fair amount of splitting. It was like 5 or 6 inches of splitting, or so. I mean, just enough splitting that you got to be pretty cautious with it. But all complete, all there, and just a wild cover. I mean, and tons of detail. Got the skull down here with the let's see, yeah, with the snake going through the eyes. You've got this monster just dragging these people off, likely to this castle or dungeon, wherever it is in the back. I mean, pretty gruesome cover with this one, and for a lower grade book, it still presents really well. This is a pretty pricey book. I don't remember what I valued it at. I think somewhere around 400, or might have been, I don't know, something like that, somewhere in that range. But Adventures into Darkness number 7, cool book. But yeah, happy to pick that one up. All right, now next one, another Silver Age. You know, going with Silver Age again. This one has been hot lately on some spec. You know, I'm not normally someone that's buying spec, but the book was pretty affordable, so it's not like it's a huge risk. But this is Brave and the Bold number 57. First appearance of Metamorpho. He's this guy on the cover here, right there. But again, another book that is pretty solid. I think it's the bottom staple is detached, but the top staple is fully attached, and the book is otherwise really nice. It might benefit from a press, but with a detached bottom staple, typically the top grade you're going to get, or a detached staple overall, typically the top grade you're going to get is about a 6, maybe a 6.5. But this one is otherwise very nice. I don't think it would hit a 6, but I think somewhere in the 5.55 range wouldn't be out of the question. But Brave and the Bold number 57, and I think at that point it's like a $200 book or $175 book, something like that. But I always like the purple covers too. They always pop. You don't see the purple all that often. But yeah, cool book. First appearance of Metamorpho. All right, then another solid Golden Age book. This one is, you know, an affordable grade, but a very nice presenting copy. This is Eerie number 7. And you've got the woman in half of a red dress there, you know, like kind of like the Good Girl Art type cover. You've got this this vampire that's seems like they're supposed to be there, but then he's also in the back there, and they're probably in a bit of trouble. This one has a completely split spine, but it is complete. Generally, my experience with that is that the upper end for the book would be like a 1.5. I might actually get this one graded. I don't know, just because it does present so well. I think it could get that 1.5. But Eerie number 7, pre-code horror book from Avon. I can't remember what I thought of the art on this one, on the interior. I don't remember. I think it was actually pretty good. I mean, it's a 1.5. I don't mind handling it. Let's check that one out, because I always like showing that. Like, if the interior art is actually pretty solid, I always want to show it off. But you can see it's like, you know, it's a fully split spine. It's a detached cover, so we can pull out the interior very easily. So there's that opening splash. Not the greatest little image there, but the interior art is actually pretty detailed. I mean, something where this, I mean, to me, like Golden Age, this is solid interior art. I mean, looking at the detail on the woman there on that one panel. Let's check out some of these other panels as well. I thought that there were a couple that really jumped out to me. Oh, I mean, not necessarily this guy on the right here, or maybe he'll be on your left now, but this panel over here. So you got this advertisement over here for the Chevalier. Look slimmer and feel younger. But this panel over here I thought was pretty incredible. That was the one that when I was flipping through really jumped out. I thought that was a really incredible panel there. But yeah, so that's what's kind of, that can be part of the fun, you know, of flipping through some of these books, especially the ones that are lower grade where I don't have to worry so much about damaging them. Like here, I mean, some pretty solid, like good girl art type panels, you know, some really detailed work, because I mean, I've seen some others that they're not good. The interiors are just, they're just not good. But yeah, this one, pretty impressive. I think that, and especially because a lot of times you'll notice like the covers with Eerie, with Avon, they'll use very similar covers across different issues, or they'll almost like copy and paste things between covers. So you would think that maybe the interior art would be similar, where maybe they wouldn't be putting as much effort into it, but not the case here. Interior art, pretty solid with this one. All right, now the last book, one graded book that I've got here. And this one is a Matt Baker cover, pretty fun cover, a solid presenting copy for a 3.0. It's got a fair amount of spine wear, it's got some splitting, but that's really what you want to look for if you want a good looking, you know, a little bit lower grade book. I mean, I even feel like, I mean, I don't know if it'd be a 4, but I'd have to check the notes and see if like the staple, anything's detached or anything like that. But solid looking book. This is Teenage Romances #2, and you can see this this woman here is moving in on this doctor, and this other lady in the back here does not appear to be happy about it. But Teenage Romances #2, Matt Baker, cover and art. You can see down in a little note there, a 3.0 off-white to white pages, so nice page quality, and just a solid presenting copy of this book. The Matt Baker romance books, I mean, they have been super hot lately. It used to just be that it was like the higher grade ones, but it has now transferred down into the lower grade copies as well. Just anything that you can get almost for Matt Baker romance. But so I decided to pick this one up, Teenage Romances #2 from St. John Publications, and just fun Matt Baker cover. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, saw some cool stuff, maybe some things you haven't seen before, and then, you know, that I just thought it was cool to be able to show the interior on that Fantastic Four 48, because a lot of times when you come across those books, they're already graded, you know, and you can see them on a screen. You know, you can get the subscription to view the interiors and read the comics, but it's fun to open them up and, you know, feel the paper, smell the paper, all that kind of stuff. That's always fun to do too. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, all that kind of stuff. I got more videos over here. If you'd like to watch some of my other videos, subscription button is right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.